if you, you know, in life, there's always two sides or three sides of the story. She's just getting one. That's not right.
She seems to be very close to things, and she has always been very open-minded. And I've brought her up because it's very hard for a woman today in the world. I brought her up to be opinionated, to have an opinion. We women do have an opinion, and she has always had an opinion on things. I have. She doesn't seem to have opinions any longer. I ask her things, she has no opinion. Her opinion, that side of her is gone. That side of her brain has disappeared.
Okay.
So these are all things which...
But I still don't quite understand why you think that you'd lose her. It seems that you think that you would lose her in some way.
Because Scientology has got hold of her mind. You really have. You can't see.
She doesn't like what we're doing.
PTS by your organisation. That's why they think.
Well,
Becky
is PTS, potential trouble source, as you know. She's come home and told us this. She was crying, upset about it. If she was in the Girl Guides and somebody called her something, so what? That'll be the end of it. And if she wanted to leave, she would leave. They wouldn't harass her. And they do harass her. They ring her mobile, they send her text, they're sending information to our house, which at the moment that's stopped, but that's only stopped up to a couple of weeks ago. They sent something in February, it's April last year. We've had one this year as well. This is from, and we've had stuff from Tracy Fitch as well, wanting £1,000 donation to the Ideal Law Project, or contribute 25 hours volunteer time to any of the following projects within the next 4 weeks. David, a boyfriend, paid over £1,000 last year. He got a free fleece. Brilliant.
The thing is as well that she knows we're very against
She's a student, she hasn't got this kind of money.
She knows we're against this, and she knows that we come each month to the protest. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like what I'm doing. She's very annoyed with me for doing it. But when I say to her, we would like you to leave Scientology, you've got so much else going on in your life, you don't really have the time for it. She says that she will stand back from it for the time being, but once we come around and stop this and stop getting annoyed about it, she will just carry on as normal.
One of the main reasons
we don't want that.
Yeah, once her out now is, as I said, she's been on the free winds twice, and you know about it's in dock and it's sealed off the ship.
At the moment, yeah.
Do you know why it's sealed off?
Being renovated.
Been renovated?
Yes, it has.
Right, yeah. But do you know what we found on the ship?
What they found?
Yeah. You don't know what we found on the ship?
They've not been told.
Right. Well, this is another main reason we want her out of Scientology. What they found on the ship is blue asbestos. And blue asbestos is the worst type of asbestos you can ever find. Now, one of your guys called Lawrence Woodcraft, he was the, what was his position? Architect. This is a proper affidavit, which he did back in 2001, and you see even stuff about the captain, what he acknowledges that there's asbestos on there. They kept it, that was 21 years ago, when they got the ship, sorry, and my daughter's been on it twice last year in a matter of 6 months. We've asked her to go and have a doctor's checkup. She's like, not really bothered about doing that, because Scientology has this thing where if L. Ron Hubbard has not written it down, everything's okay then. So she doesn't feel there's a problem with this asbestos. I've spoken to doctors and they need to see her pretty quick. Now it won't show on her lungs for at least 10-15 years, but they can do a spit test basically, slava, and that will show it. And even if she's, we hope she, for God forbid, she's okay, but even if she's not, even if she is okay, why should Scientology have a ship and take people on there doing courses knowingly it's full of asbestos? Is that a good organisation to be involved in? And isn't that a very reason she shouldn't be involved in Scientology?
Well, okay. I mean, you made a lot of points there.
True just raised the point that obviously you didn't know about yourself. Yeah. But it is quite, the blue asbestos is worse than the white asbestos.
Okay, I mean, that's the first time that I've ever heard of that.
You won't hear of it,
Anthony,
Anthony, because you Scientologists aren't told the truth. We know the truth, and as I said at the beginning, we know more about Scientology, the organisation, than you will ever know. And I feel sorry for you because you're a victim as well.
Okay, well, I don't feel sorry for myself. I'm quite proud to be a Scientologist and to know that, something that I've observed for myself to work and to help people.
So we don't want to handle a victim anymore.
Okay, well, understood. I mean, I obviously, with anything that I say, you've got quite a definite opinion, and you've looked at things which you've read, and you see for yourself, you observe for yourself to be something which is true. Which, okay, fine. I'm not here to try and sort of convince you otherwise or anything.
So will you sort this out? A letter from St. Hill saying that basically she is not a Scientologist anymore, and I mean that, not a Scientologist anymore. She won't be in the future, and you will not introduce anything to her about Scientology, and she won't go in or go buy books or tapes or CDs or whatever. That's what insurance we want from you.
Understood.
Because we're going to take this to our grave, we really, really will. We're going to fight it. That's all we've ever wanted, this assurance. And this wouldn't have gone this far if we would have had the letter back.
Sure. Well, I can see you've...
So can you give us that assurance?
Well, if it's all right, I'd like to just go back to that question I asked before about why you think you would lose Becky. I mean, I understand the things that you've said, like about asbestos on the ship and what have you, but then there seemed to be a sort of an intrinsic, as if it was part of Scientology that you lose families. Now, in my experience, this is, if I can just talk from my own personal observation of what's occurred with myself and my family, prior to Scientology, I was, to some degree, sort of drifting a little bit anyway. I sort of went out travelling, hitchhiking around, and I sort of separated off from my own family a little bit. This is pre-Scientology. And then I came back and I got a job and what have you, but I wasn't particularly in very good... I would see my parents quite regularly every few weeks or whatever, but we weren't... when you have a conversation with someone and it's like a heartfelt you really know that you're in good conversation with somebody. That didn't really happen for quite some years, and for myself, when I got into Scientology, I understood a little bit more about the mind and how it works, just from things that I'd read. It seemed to make a lot of sense to me, and I observed that what was said was kind of evident in just the things that I observed, and just applying a few basic principles, my family relations actually strengthened a heck of a lot, and I've got better relations now with my mum, my stepdad, my dad and his girlfriend, and my sister.
Can I stop you there though? Let me just say, that happens at the early side of Scientology. It's brilliant for them. They love the communication course. Richard and Bonnie Woods, who were ex-Scientologists, who was sued by Scientology, or tried to be sued. They fought back and won £55,000. They've given us enough evidence about families who have disconnected, so disconnection does happen, and as I said, Becky has been brainwashed. It's simple as that. We see it at home, you don't. So yes, she said there's some good things about Scientology, and we agree with that. I've no problem with that. It's what's happening to her mind that we're fighting to get her out, and this stuff about the free winds as well. With Scientology knowing all about that asbestos, they're not a good